Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. So, Coach Tomlin comes out and says that Kaleb Johnson better make the best of opportunities he'll see. Mike Tomlin says, I have a question. If Jaylen Warren wasn't getting the ball, wouldn't you want to see Kenneth Gainwell get the football? I mean, I'm not saying that Mike Tomlin said that Kenneth Gainwell wasn't going to get the football, but there's only so many footballs to go around per game. And I just don't see how Kaleb Johnson gets a lot of opportunities this year. All summer camp, you heard that Kaleb Johnson by October, he was going to take over as the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so far, Kaleb Johnson has contributed absolutely nothing to the Steelers offense, a third round pick. And you're going to say you're giving up too soon, you're being negative. Now, I'm not saying he's going to turn into Roman Wilson where this goes on forever, but it's giving me Roman Wilson vibes where we obviously picked the wrong player. If Kaleb Johnson can't beat out Kenneth Gainwell and he can't beat out Jaylen Warren, is he going to be the permanent third string back on the roster? Because Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell aren't going anywhere for a while. And fine, he might get one opportunity, two opportunities, even three opportunities to touch the football, Kaleb Johnson. But why? Why does he doesn't you don't deserve anything. And there's no give me's. You don't have to give a guy the football. If Jaylen Warren's not getting the football, then Kenneth Gainwell should get the football. We all saw what Kenneth Gainwell did to the Minnesota Vikings. 18 carries, 99 yards. Excellent player. He's been in the league a while. Every time I've seen him on the Philadelphia Eagles get a few carries, he always made the most of them. I thought he's a very productive player. So where does this leave Kaleb Johnson? Kaleb Johnson's a third round pick. Again, you're going to say, all you talk about is defense, defense, defense. Linebackers on the board, cornerbacks on the board, defensive tackles on the board, and we take Kaleb Johnson. And of course, Cam Skattebo goes in the fourth round, pick 101. I'm just not sold. I just have a bad feeling. My gut feeling is telling me that Kaleb Johnson and Roman Wilson are twins. That's my gut feeling. Coach Tomlin went on to say, I think that he's going to continue to get better with opportunity. He doesn't have control over when those opportunities occur. Tomlin said Tuesday via the Steelers website, when he gets them, he better make the best of them. Coach Tomlin is already telling you that there's only so many balls to go around, and he's not sure because he already has two backs in front of Kaleb Johnson. Sounds like a wasted third round pick to me. Tomlin did credit him for working diligently and consistently during practice and noted that there are 13 consecutive games Steelers are about to play. I'm sure he's going to get more opportunities to let his talent show, he said of Johnson, also emphasizing a full awareness of his inexperience as a true junior collegiate player. I don't get amnesia. I don't like that in the spring and then hate that in the fall. Whatever. Just the Tomlinism. Back in May and June, we had beat writers on a weekly basis predicting that Kaleb Johnson would take over the primary running back duties by October. Instead, we have a weekly debate about who should handle more, Jaylen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell. The latter is coming off a career game and has scored 3 touchdowns the past 2 contests. Johnson has a 25% run success rate. Oh, whatever. Yeah, it's funny. It really is. Well, you had Jaylen Warren, and then you signed Kenneth Gainwell, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers take a running back in the third round, and everybody thinks it's a steal. And the beat writers, they're all claiming that Kaleb Johnson in shorts and a t-shirt is the new Barry Sanders. Everybody looks good in shorts and a t-shirt. Everybody looks good in shorts and a t-shirt. Nobody saw Kaleb Johnson pass block one time in a live game. Oh, he's going to take over the starting job. Like some of these beat writers, seriously, I know everybody needs content. And they always say this, oh, he just does hot takes. He's trying to draw an emotion. No, I want to see the team do well. And I want to see the team make good decisions. And I don't know how anybody could write that Kaleb Johnson's going to be the starter by October. And you didn't even see the guy in a real opponent in shoulder pads and a helmet yet, and he's the best thing since Barry Sanders. It's just typical. Remember, Jaylen Warren signed a 2-year contract extension. Kenneth Gainwell got a 1-year deal. So I don't know. I have no clue when Caleb Johnson's ever going to see the field. I mean, if Kenneth Gainwell has 2 or 3 more games like he did against the Minnesota Vikings, I can't see the Steelers not re-signing him for next year. I just don't like the pick. I don't like you spent a 3rd round pick on a running back when you could have easily taken it back in the 5th round, 4th round, 6th round. We should have got another defensive stud on the defensive side of the ball. Pat Freiermuth stuck in no man's land. Mike DeFabo says, I don't know how it changes. I don't agree with this. I don't want to hear about how many snaps Pat Freiermuth is getting or he's not getting. That is not my problem with Pat Freiermuth. My problem with Pat Freiermuth is when the ball is finally thrown to him, 50, 60% of the time, he's dropping the football. When his number is finally called, listen, whether you get 5 snaps, 10 snaps, 20 snaps, when that ball comes your way, that's your opportunity. And right now, 50, 60% of the time, Pat Freiermuth is not catching the football. The blocked field goal against the Vikings, did you see his effort with that? Pat Freiermuth got 4 years, $48 million. And to me, since he signed that contract, Pat Freiermuth has been playing horrible football. Pat Freiermuth, he's a good football player. Well, he needs to show us that he's a good football player. Because I don't remember the last time Pat Freiermuth has played good football. And we can go back to the Baltimore Ravens playoff game. He got the ball thrown to him in the most crucial time, and he dropped the ball as he usually does. Pat Freiermuth better get his act together because right now, for 4 years, $48 million, he's playing horrible football. So this is what Mike DeFabo argued on 93.7 The Fan. Unfortunately, Pat hasn't found a way to carve out a niche for himself. He's not dynamic enough as a receiving threat to feel like you have to funnel him targets, and he's not good enough as a blocker to merit getting in as the primary blocking tight end in 12 personnel and other tight end heavy personnel groupings, he said. You're right. He's kind of stuck in this no man's land, but I don't know how it changes. I'm going to be honest with you. Translation, okay. I agree with you 1,000%. So here is another mistake by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he's not good enough to block, and he's not good enough as a receiver, but yet the Steelers give him 4 years, $48 million and a $12 million signing bonus and pay him big time money to sit on the bench. Why? Because he's a nice guy? Because you like him? Then what the hell was the point of signing him? I mean, it's like, oh, wow. You read this article, you're just like, wow, he's not good enough to block it. He's not good enough to catch passes. Well, what the hell? Why'd you pay the guy then? You should have let him take a walk. Can't do anything. Doesn't seem like rocket science to me, but hey, Coach Tomlin has a reputation to make the things difficult. Steelers are allegedly interested in Jaylen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins, the wide receivers, and Jakobi Meyers with the Las Vegas Raiders before the trade deadline to sign another wide receiver. I mean, I haven't seen Jaylen Waddle play in a while, but when I seen him play like 2 years ago, I mean, he was lightning fast. They say that he's faster than Tyreek Hill, and he was putting up some big numbers. I don't know what to make of that. Sometimes I just say, you know what, let's just stick with the guys that we have and develop the players that we have. You're gonna say Scotty Miller. Why do you keep talking about Scotty Miller? He's not that good. Well, I think if Scotty Miller got opportunities with Aaron Rodgers throwing in the football, he's very dependable. He runs super crisp routes. He's super fast. I think he's the fastest guy on the team. Only big plays are going to happen. But if he's not on the field, he can't get the ball. He can't make those big plays. I think we should just stick with Scotty Miller and go from there. A lot of fans, they always think, oh, the answer to everything is just bring another guy in, and then the other guy comes and you wasted a draft pick or you traded somebody away that you really didn't need to trade. How often does it really work out? How tell me the last time you saw a player that got traded to a team before the trade deadline. He absolutely killed it on an NFL team. Yeah, he might have brought some value, but is it really worth it? I don't think so. I'm not really even concerned at this point. I'm ready to just roll the players that we have. Let's develop those guys and let's roll with the players that we have. Steelers week 6 Wednesday injury report. 4 did not practice, 3 others limited. Let's see who this was. Jalen Ramsey did not practice. Ben Skowerneck, limited practice. Calvin Alston did not practice. Darius Slay did not practice. Joey Porter Jr., full practice. Jalen Warren, full practice. Alex Highsmith, limited practice ankle. He's always hurt, Alex Highsmith, always. TJ Watt did not practice. Just a veteran resting day. Cam Hayward, the same thing. Ben Skowerneck had an illness. He's not hurt. Aaron Rodgers says Steelers' plan for Myles Garrett must be the same as Jets had for TJ Watt. Rodgers went on to say Myles is a Hall of Famer. He might not be in yet, but that's where he's going. Rodgers said, according to video via 93.7 The Fan on X, he's one of the few players in the league that over my 21 years, you game plan for it and you watch the film. Every team has a plan. There's been a few guys over the years, not many, but there's been a few guys over the years like that. Now we have one as well. When we played the Steelers last year, our plan was to get 4 hands on TJ Watt every single play. Yeah, that's funny. Garrett has 13 sacks in 14 games against the Steelers. So the Steelers' plan over the years hasn't exactly worked. But maybe this time having a good QB pre and post snap and Rodgers could help negate the 2023 NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, when you're chasing down Russell Wilson, a guy that runs like a 60-year-old man, you're going to get 3 to 7 sacks a game. I anticipate Aaron Rodgers knowing Myles Garrett is coming and getting the ball out of his hand and throwing it away and not taking sacks for a loss. I anticipate Aaron Rodgers knowing exactly how to deal with Myles Garrett, whether it's the snap count, getting rid of the football. You know, Aaron Rodgers is a master at his craft. He's no Russell Wilson, that's for sure. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.